In recent months, the storms have subsided, and the economies around the world are starting to stabilise. At least that's our hope, isn't it? But have any serious lessons been learned? There are growing indications that now the storm is passing. We can now settle back to the way we were before, doing the same thing. The parable of Jesus says something about this. Houses built on such foundations. Businesses being conducted on values that everybody liked, because the greedy form of capitalism was supposed to be everybody's gift. But the floods rose and the winds blew. And what we all thought would be something that we would own in terms of our monetary and property assets were washed away. In the Bible, the narrator said that God spoke to Moses and he said, "You'll be safe here. I'll put you in this cleft of the rock. And I shall pass over you. And then you can look. I'll take away my hand and you can look and you'll see my back. But my face you will not see." So you didn't see him coming, as it were, but you can see him going. And when you see that he has passed, rejoice that you've had some safe haven in the cleft of the rock. But now learn from it how you will live into the future. What will be the intelligence that you will take into the future? What will be the values that you will take into the future? Will you stick to those values, or will you find new, more altruistic, less greedy industries, a better humanity? Or a fourth storm. In my student years in Scotland, we were often told to be very careful when we went out into a snowstorm, because it was so easy to become confused and disoriented in the snow. And people would walk round and round in circles, and then some would fall over and die within 100 metres of their own front door, because they become so confused in the storm. At the other end of the world, our end, we have heard of something similar taking place in the bushfires. Sometimes you see out of sheer anxiety and panic, sometimes out of a sense of desperation, sometimes out of hot-headedness. Any one of us can make a decision that is followed with dire consequences. As it was a few years ago with that airline disaster in the Canary Islands, the captain of one aircraft wanted to get home. He wanted to get out of this place. And he pestered the control tower to let him go, and they wouldn't let him go. The runway was not clear. At length, he took it into his own hands and said, "I'm taking off." He took off all right, hit a plane halfway down the runway that was crossing his path, or sitting on the pathway. Did not realise that there it was. Of course, it's an extreme event that caused many deaths. But it speaks volumes, doesn't it, about our own emotional storms, running out of control, doing damage, leaving an aftermath of destruction and waste, of grief and anger. One of my textbooks on trauma lists out some simple directives. It says, promote a sense of safety, promote calming, promote a sense of self-stability, promote an active connectedness with the right resources, and promote hope. Without the sense of hope, it is all too easy to fall into angry fatalism, futility, resignation, and a sense of who cares anyway. Many people keep going through their emotional storms. They keep occurring, and like the person with migraine, they don't pause for a moment to ask, what can we do to prevent this? How could we cope better? What kind of human being will I be? And what values are important to me? It is then that an intelligent approach to a practical religion becomes relevant. It is then that we might see that a religion of so many beliefs about the person of Jesus are not nearly so important as blocking into your life, building into your life the things that he saw were important. Like making sure of your safety. Like remaining calm in the worst storm. Like being alive to your best connections. Like having a stable sense of self. Like ensuring that hope is more than just a word. It is having a strong sense of baseline to proceed into the future in spite of what has occurred. So having said all that, I need to say just one thing more. There are some storms that have a great fascination in positive terms for us. They lift us out of our dried out places. And at times of great testing. They inspire artists to paint. They test our skills and our resourcefulness. They help to create the great storms of poetry and music. They show that even in the worst of times, there are possibilities of a creative and resilient energy. The hope can come with the symbol of the rainbow. Storms remind us that this is what it means to be alive. This is what it means to be a human being. This is what it means to be able to reshape and remake ourselves. Like Moses, for a time we can pause safely in the cleft of our rock. But when the storm has passed, we can re-emerge to a new phase of life and continue our voyage with ourselves as good guides for ourselves and good guides for others.